Hey, I'm golf broadcaster Matt Adams. The updated and expanded second edition of my book, The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments, is now available. Readers can expect to march with Arnie's Army at the 1960 U.S. Open, relive Jack Nicklaus's remarkable 1986 Masters win, and be amazed by the Tiger Slam. The Golf Round I'll Never Forget, Golf's Biggest Stars Recall Their Finest Moments. Pick it up where fine books sold, including BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com.
Thrive Suite Productions. And welcome back to This Day in Sports History. It's February 9th, and on this day in 2006, a network broadcaster was traded for a cartoon rabbit. The network broadcaster in question was the veteran Al Michaels, the guy who called The Miracle on Ice, along with World Series games, Monday Night Football, and did a lot of studio work. He is a familiar face and voice to most who have even casually watched sports over the years. Well, back in 2005, ESPN, which is under the umbrella of ABC, won the rights to Monday Night Football, which is one game a week. They also lost the rights to Sunday Night Football, which had been 2 games. ESPN had 2 broadcast teams that covered the Sunday Night Football games, and they needed to make a decision on who would be the broadcast team for their Monday night telecasts. Actually, the decision was in large part made for them. John Madden was the analyst on one of the 2 teams, and his contract with ESPN was up. NBC recruited him, and he signed with NBC, which now had the rights to Sunday Night Football. The producer and director from that team soon followed, leaving Michaels out in the cold, tethered to ABC by contract, really. Michaels had been with ABC for the past 30 years, and ESPN wanted to keep him. But Michaels wanted to follow his friend and broadcast partner John Madden to NBC, and he let ESPN know in February of '06. Enter Disney's Bob Iger. When Iger heard that Michaels wanted to leave for NBC, he told ESPN president George Bodenheimer that he was willing to let him out of his contract if NBC would relinquish the rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. While Walt Disney reminded everybody that it all started with a mouse, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit was one of Walt's earliest creations, appearing first in the cartoon Trolley Troubles in 1927. And by the way, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit looks a lot like the early Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse, just, with longer ears. Anyway, Walt produced several Oswald the Lucky Rabbit shorts for Universal to get his animation studio up and running. And Universal was owned by NBC and still held the rights to Oswald. Iger knew that Oswald was important, not only to the history of Walt Disney, but to Disney's family as well. It took about a week to get it done, but on this day in 2006, the deal was struck and Al Michaels was traded to NBC for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Also on this day, in 1920, Major League Baseball set rules in place to banish the spitball and other methods used by pitchers to doctor baseballs. What happened on this day was a compromise between owners who didn't think that their pitchers could win games without putting a little something on the ball, and others who wanted to sanitize the game and produce more excitement. The league allowed 17 veteran pitchers to be grandfathered in as spitballers and could throw the pitch legally. No new players would be added to the list, and once the 17 left baseball, the spitball, the shine ball, Vaseline ball, snot ball, and any other substance on the ball would be illegal. It would be another 14 years until the spitball would be completely illegal. The last legal spitball pitcher was Burley Grimes, who retired at the age of 41 in 1934. And in 2003, Michael Jordan played in his final NBA All-Star game. It was well known that this was the swan song for Jordan, now playing with the Washington Wizards. It was not Jordan's best All-Star game performance. He missed his first 7 shots and had a shot to win the game at the end of regulation, but his fall-away clanged off the iron. He made up for that at the end of the first OT, hitting a fall-away baseline jumper with 4.9 seconds left, But Kobe Bryant was fouled with a second left. He hit 2 free throws to send it to a second OT, with the West pulling away to spoil Jordan's final All-Star game. That's all for today. More tomorrow on This Day in Sports History.
Hey there, sports history fan. This is Arnie Chapman, a.k.a. the Football History Dude, and I hope that you enjoyed this recent episode presented by the Sports History Network and were able to learn some good old-fashioned sports history knowledge nuggets. I started the Sports History Network back in 2020 with the mission to help podcasters find a community of like-minded sports history nerds, as well as helping aspiring podcasters to start their own shows. We have a little bit over 30 shows on the network right now covering all sorts of sports history, but as far as I'm concerned, we're just at the toothpick in the ocean moment, that can't even figure it out because there's so much more coming. We wanted to create the ultimate headquarters for sports yesteryear, starting with Podcast Network and our website, but we're going to continue to move into other mediums as well. And here's the cool part, because we want you to be part of our team. So if you're interested in starting your own podcast, or maybe being a guest on one of our shows, or who knows, maybe even writing an article for us over on the website. Seriously, all you gotta do is reach out to us on the contact page over at sportshistorynetwork.com. You can be as technologically savvy as a Neanderthal tapping on a stone trying to figure out this whole hieroglyphics thing back in the day. Again, it doesn't matter, because even if you don't understand the whole podcast space, we have a production team that can pretty much help you out with doing everything. All you gotta do, head over to sportshistorynetwork.com, head to the contact page, fill it out. That message goes right to me, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I can. But for now, dude, I'm through if you're through.